So in the last video, I said you are creating any resource under a project, right? This is the project name. So, but these resources, most of the resources, not all of them, are connected to network. And at least any compute resource that you create would have some sort of network for you to connect to it, or for it to connect to the external world, and so on and so forth. For to obviously connect to the other services. So there is a network needed. Google Cloud has VPC for this, and the distribution is pretty clean and interesting. So when you create a project, if you're doing it through console, through the GUI, you would get a default network. This is handy, but not, production grade, I would say. But yeah, for testing or for starting purposes, or if your project is in the dev stage, it's fine. Why I'm saying this is because obviously the name would be just default and it will have 36 subnets. Let's open this. And if you see the distribution of all these subnets, it's in various regions that Google Cloud has, all of them. So this VPC is distributed throughout the world, and any resource that you create would be, not any, the ones that require the networking. And so if you have a project, inside this project you have this default network created, and this has subnets spanning over regions. So this could be region 1, 2, 3, 4, or I will just say US, Euro, Asia, and so on and so forth. And these regions, so since the network is, oh, I didn't specify, did I? VPC is virtual private cloud. So when people say virtual private cloud, or VPC for short, in practical terms, they just mean the network. Although it's more than that, but yeah. So it's your isolated network, your personal private cloud. Inside this, you can configure it any way you want. By default, you have this setup, the one that I showed. But when you're creating, you can create to any level you want, or to any specification you want. So this is your complete isolated VPC. You have your resources here. So this could be your compute instance, and this could be my GKE or my Cloud Run. We will learn about these later. All sorts will be inside here. And of course, they have their own internal IP, and if needed, and if configured, their external IP. Anything and everything would fall under this VPC. The important thing to know here is, in some other clouds, especially if you're coming from other clouds, the structure is very, very different, and I prefer this one. This is cleaner. But in other clouds, the project section is basically the region section. I don't want to confuse you because this is not about other clouds, but still. So you choose to deploy in a region, and then that region will have resources associated with your account. But Google Cloud has much more cleaner setup. You have your account associated with this project, and this project is associated with your billing, and so on and so forth. And here you're creating your resources at this level. And VPC just manages this cool feature of distributing your resources easily throughout the region. So even in one project, you can have resources that belong to different regions. That is the advantage that you have in GCP compared to other clouds.